Good evening, everyone. Did you know that there are 8 billion people, 1,500 cultures, 195 countries, and yet most people end up staying within 20 minutes by car from where they grew up? But for me, it was the complete opposite. My parents immigrated from Tunisia to Germany, where I was born, and I spent my early years. Germany is a country known for its nature, history, and stable life. And soon we moved to South Korea. We had to navigate a completely new world without knowing neither the language nor the culture. And if I told you that we got by for 4 years without any struggles, I'd be lying. Sure, we learned the language, but the real challenge, it wasn't the words, it was the culture. The streets were busy, and respect is a huge part of the daily life. Me personally, I had to get used to the culture of personal space. No hugging, no getting too close. I remember one time, after summer holidays, I was so excited to see my favorite teacher. I ran up to her to give her a hug, but she pushed me away gently, and I didn't realize what happened. But then my mom stepped in and she said, "No hugs, honey." And as I got used to that, I would go back to Tunisia, my country of origin, and where according to Arabic culture you had to hug and kiss everyone as a greeting. It really confused me as a child, because every time I learned something acceptable in one culture, it would be considered a disgrace in another. Nevertheless, soon the opposite step was waiting for me. I moved from the 4th safest country to the 4th most dangerous one in the world, South Africa. Suddenly, I couldn't walk to the playground by myself, I couldn't go to the shops on my own, I couldn't walk home from school, I couldn't walk anywhere for that matter. I missed the freedom I had in South Korea, and I felt like my world was shrinking. But the biggest challenge for me was that I didn't speak a word of English, yet I had to learn as quick as possible to be able to communicate. In South Korea, people were quiet, introverted, and shy. But then in South Africa was the complete opposite. They were outgoing, loud, and constantly joking. In the beginning, it made me so uncomfortable to go outside because I knew for a fact someone was going to approach us, someone was going to say something. But as the months went by, I loved the fact that I could make a friend anywhere, anytime. It was a sweet dream. And then I woke up in China, another country, another culture. Luckily, I was surrounded by people who taught me how to adapt and how to make the best of this significant culture. When I had the time, I loved visiting old castles and towns, learning about traditions like the tea custom or the Lunar New Year. I have to say, in the beginning, I felt a bit out of place. I was surrounded by high-rise buildings instead of mountains, machines and robots instead of animals. And as I was getting used to my high-tech life, I found myself once again in Germany, where most restaurants don't even take card payments, which I had to learn the unfortunate way. During this last move, we relocated to a small town next to Munich, so my school was surrounded by fields, cows, and trees. I have to admit, I did like it because it reminded me of South Africa. But most of my peers were farmers who spent their entire lives in that one town, same as their parents, their grandparents, and their great-grandparents. So obviously, I was different. I had to learn how to communicate, how to be understood, because often I wasn't. The words I said, the things I said, they didn't always translate. It was as if I was learning a whole new language. And now I'm here in Dubai, in a new environment once again, and I'm so excited for what it has to offer and what I can take from it. Take a moment and imagine stepping into a new culture, where every gesture, every word, every interaction feels like a puzzle. When we take our time to observe, listen, and interpret how people act, we unlock the ability to emphasize and communicate effectively. it's not just about avoiding misunderstandings, but it's about building trust and respect for each other. Because cultural acceptance starts the curiosity of asking, why do they do this, instead of judging. Culture gives us a shared set of norms, values, and behaviors. When we follow these patterns, we subconsciously signal, I am one of you. But it's not about losing one's individuality. It's about finding safety and acceptance in a culture. Because every single human being desires to belong, desires to be understood, desires to feel at home. And I have learned from my own experiences that beneath all these cultures, there is one thing profoundly human: the longing for a connection, the longing for a home. But can a physical location ever truly be a home? Or does the saying, home is where the heart is, capture its essence better? Because what exactly makes your home a home? During these years of moving, adjusting, and reshaping myself, I didn't just endure hardship. It helped me grow. Every time I had to throw myself into the unknown, surrounded by unfamiliar faces, customs, and languages, I grew. Every time I had to take a step outside of my comfort box, every time I had to take a step back and observe, every time I had to take a step to the side and listen and see, I grew. Was it easy? No. But did I grow? Yes. And did it help me? Yes. So to anyone feeling torn between cultures, between countries, between languages, between jobs, or just between two different lives, your identity isn't a box to fit into. It's a story to tell. Your experiences, your choices, your connections, everything is a chapter in that story. Culture shapes us, but it doesn't own us. It gives us framework, a starting point. But our identity is shaped by who we are, what we have lived, what we have done. And soon I realized that's what makes me special, because no one here has lived the life I have lived. No one here has seen the things I have seen. I'm a mosaic of every culture, every tradition, every country, and every person I have ever met. And that's what makes me special. I don't need to belong to one particular place because so many places belong to me. This is what a circle of someone would look like who spent their entire life 20 minutes away from where they grew up. This would be my circle. How big do you want your circle to be?